Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to create your own table mat with bead. So if you want to see how I did it, please keep watching. So I'm going to use this faceted bead over here in two colors, red and white. Okay, and I have my fishing line over here. This is a fish line and it's in 50 pound. I have my plier to cut any loose thread. So let's get started. This is my thread and I'm going to thread on 6 beads. This is 6 beads on the line. So I'm going to use this line to put the end through my last bead and pull like this. So we have a little ring over here. So this line, 5 red bead. First we start with 6 white and we are continuing with red. Okay, so I'm going to go through this last bead and pull, and now I'm going to go through the next bead, this line into the next bead. So I'll be going through each bead, then I'll add 4 bead. This is 4 bead I put on the line. I'm going to go through the next bead again and I'll be adding 4 bead. Into the next bead, I'll be adding 4 bead. Cross into the last bead and pull, and I'm going to go through the next bead again, this one into the next bead. This line, 4 bead. This is 4 I put on the line, and we are going to cross the last bead with the other line. Now I'm going to go through the white and the red bead, this white and the red one. Go through the white first and into the red. And the number of bead I'm going to add here, 3 bead. So I'm going to drop one bead on each line and cross both ends of my line into the 3rd bead and pull. So I'm crossing into the 3rd bead, then I pull it down. That way I have my thread in the middle bead, the top bead over here, as you can see, this one over here. This is how it supposed to look like. Let me pull it for you to see, like this. So let's continue. This line, 5 bead. I add 5 to the line, and that's what we are going to start the second layer with. 1, 2, I'm going to go through 2 bead. And this line, I'm adding 3 bead. 3 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead, this line into the next bead. And I'll be adding 4 bead. This line into the next 2 bead. And I'll be adding this line, 3 bead. Now into the next bead, this line, 4 bead. Then I'm going to go through these 2 bead. And I'll be adding 3 beads over here. I'm going to go to the next bead. Four bead. Into the next 2 bead, this one and this one, 3 bead. The next bead, this line, 4 bead. I'm going to go through the next 2 bead, this one and this, and I'll be adding 3 bead over here. Just trust the process and make sure you are counting your bead properly. Then you'll get everything right. This line into the next bead. And I'll be adding 4 bead. 4 bead. I put 4 bead on the line. So here I'm going through this, and this one. I'm going through all the 3 bead over here. And the number of bead I'm going to add like this. All these 4 bead, my line is in. So I'm adding 2 bead over here. 2 bead. What I'm going to do here, so now the second layer too is complete. So I'm just weaving the rest of the line into the bead. Then the outer layer we are going to continue with white bead. I'm going to go through this bead over here, the top bead over here. I'm pulling my line through this top bead, and we are going to continue the outer layer with white bead. So I'm starting with white bead, 5 white bead, into the next 2 bead, 3 bead. I'll be going to the next 2 bead. This line, 3 bead. Into the next bead. This line, 4 bead. Into the next 2 bead. Three bead. Go through the next 2 bead. Three bead. Into the next bead, 4 bead. I'm going to go to the next 2. Three bead. Go to the next 2 bead. 3 bead. Into the next bead, I'm going through 1 bead over here, and I'll be adding 4 bead. Into the next 2 bead, three bead. Go to the next 2, three bead. I'm going to go through the next bead. I'm going through only 1 bead over here and adding 4 bead. Now I'll be going through the next 2 bead. So this line I'm adding 3 bead. This next 2 bead, I'm going through the next 2 bead. And I'll be adding 3 bead. So this line into the next bead, I'm going to only 1 bead over here, and I'll be adding 4 bead over here. Into the next 2 bead, three bead. So here too I'm going to go through this, and this one. All the 4 bead I'm going to go through. 1, 2, and 3. So this is how my line is in the bead. It's in the 4 bead. And the number of bead I'll be adding here is 2 bead. 2. So this shape is done. This is how it's complete. The rest of this line I'm going to weave it back into the bead and then make sure the thread is well into the bead before I cut it off. This is how it's looking like. Okay, so here's another one that I made. This one I use red for the inner layer. Start with white, red, and the outer layer is white. But here I use red to start, inner layer is white, and red for the outer layer. You can mix your colors, whatever you want to do with it, how you mix it to make your own design. Okay, so this is how it's looking like, and I'm going to use the white one for the middle. I made a bunch of it, and we are going to just put this together like a puzzle. So we start with the middle one and then put the pieces together, and then we are just going to join them to make a mat like this. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we are going to put this together. So first I'm going to leave the first bead and I'm going to go to the second bead. 1, 2. So I leave the first bead and go to the second and the third bead over here. Okay, now I'm going to add 1 bead to my line, 1 bead to my line, and on the opposite, this one I'm going to put my line through the same bead over here. I leave the first and go to the second and the third bead of this piece too, and I'm going to use another bead and cross both ends of my line into it and pull. Just the way I'm doing it, like this. So again, I'm going to go through the next 2 beads on each piece. So this is the second one I'm going through over here, and the opposite one too, I'm going to go through the next 2 beads. I'm going to use 1 bead and cross both ends of my line into it and pull. This is how you're joining the pieces together. So I'll be going through the next 2 beads again. I'm taking 1 bead over here, crossing both ends of my line into it. Now I'm going to join the middle piece to this one. I'm going to go through this edge bead over here, and now I'm going to add 1 bead to my line. Then the middle piece, I'm going to go through the edge bead for the middle piece, this one, this bead over here, the edge one. Go through that edge bead, and this line, go to the next bead. Now take 1 bead and cross your line into it and pull. Now continue into the next 2 beads, this and this, this and this one. These 2. So take a bead and cross both ends of your line into it and pull. Now we continue into the next 2 beads. Next 2. Take 1 bead and cross both ends of your line into it. I'm going through the next 2 beads, and I'm crossing both ends of my line into this bead and pull like this. Okay, now we have to join another piece again. So I'm going to join it on the next piece, this bead into the next bead, this one. Then I'm going to add 1 bead to my line, and then enter the edge bead of this piece. Okay, now this line into the next bead. There is no right or wrong way of joining these pieces. You can do it however you want. Join both ends of your line into this bead and pull. You can join in wherever you want, come back and do the edges, or you do the edges first, come back and do the middle. So this is how we are going to continue, come back wherever, go in and fill in all the open places, okay, to fill it all over, and then you are done. And this is how it's going to look like if you complete yours. So I complete mine off camera, and this is how it's looking like. Very beautiful table mat. You put it on your table, it looks beautiful. You can use different beads, the colors that you want for your table. You can use those colors to make it for yourself. So this is how the complete mat is looking like. I went into filling all the empty spaces, and it's all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a wonderful day. And please remember to subscribe and also turn on your notification for any new video that I'll be uploading. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.